Why, hello YouTube. This is Bela Mage again, and we're coming at you with a day 2 update now. Normally I would do day 1 updates, but I decided to commit, even though it was relatively obvious to me early. I decided to commit to leveling minions. Pure minions the whole way. And I have to say, all of day 1 was some of the most miserable leveling I've ever done. All of the current minions are garbage right now. The nerfs are over the top, extreme nerfs. Now, unlike a lot of other people, I'm still having a good time. I'm enjoying the struggle. I was having a good time even when I was using the base minions, the arsonists and skeletal archers and all of those sort of things. Even though it was just a continual struggle for the whole first day. But it did mean there was no point in a day 1 update. I was like in act 3 or 4 at the end of day 1, at the end of a long day. It was a miserable experience. However, beginning of day 2, someone from chat suggested a new Spectre. This might have been, I think, the 15th Spectre I tried. There was a lot of messing around testing Spectres. But this Spectre actually works. Actually does good damage for a somewhat reasonable spirit cost. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but I'll take it. As you can see in the background, visual clarity is at an all-time low, which, that's fine. But more importantly, they deal damage. They kill things, they clear well. I can actually play the game again. So I'm absolutely in love with these. If we want a bunch more information on the Spectres, I did a little showcase video of the Spectres yesterday. We'll probably put the link to that directly in the description here, so you can just click it and head to that video if you want more. But let's jump into game and see where we're at. We have only just gotten to maps after 2 full days. All right, here we are in game. We have run a single map, a single one map. This is our starter gear. We have like no currency to speak of, really. Our resistances are not great. This was literally our first map. Somehow we managed Captain Cold. But now that we're actually blasting, we'll be able to move from here and actually, you know, make some profit and get into good maps and whatnot. But we're running mostly what we just found on the ground. Even a Lear cast right now. All of my gear is pretty questionable. I bought like 2 things for like 2 exalts each. One being this amulet because I need a little bit of resistance and more spirit. I bought that for like a little bit, and I bought this blue ring because I needed fire res. That was very cheap. So that's literally it. There's nothing special here. We are very, very poor. The only special thing is that we did find the jeweler's orb that gives you a 5th link, so I got to put Immolate in. So these guys, these Vaal guards, have been my absolute savior the whole time. Real important, we worked out after a bit of testing, is that you actually want Scattershot and Magnified Effect for both clear and single target. If you use Scattershot and Magnified Effect, and you take these AoE nodes on the tree, then you get 100% overlap all the time on all 3 projectiles. If you're getting overlap on all 3 projectiles, then essentially Scattershot becomes 50% more DPS. If you drop Magnified Effect, you no longer get the overlap on at least one of them misses all the time, sometimes 2, which makes Scattershot a damage down, or at best roughly equal. That's not ideal. With both of these together, it's about a 50% damage up, which makes both of these supports for single target the equivalent of saying 25% more damage each. But the added benefit they're the clear supports that give you good clear. So the good news is we never have to change support gems. We keep them forever because they're the best for clear and the best for single target because of the overlapping explosions. It'll be pretty easy to tell if you go ahead and like take them out and try a little bit. You'll be like, oh, that doesn't work very well. It is worth noting, I always have another Bind Spectre on me right here that just isn't used. This is just so that if I see a minion that I really want to try out, I'll be able to pick it up. I'm not using it. I also have some skeletal snipers here. They're not really used. They're literally just used to hold on to some gems for testing reasons. I'm not using them. I have 2 arsonists out still. You probably don't need these. I'm questioning whether I will keep them or not, but for now, they're literally just bidding, minion mastery, and fire pen, and I am using them primarily to use their active ability so that I can pop out some SRSs and blow them up with the active ability. And having 2 is more than enough. Their cooldown is pretty quick. So you get to use a fairly decent amount of explosions with just the 2. I'll never need more than that, so that's fine. Right now I have a Pain Offering that only has persistence in it. It is not min-maxed or anything. My Summon Raging Spirits is only doing Fire Exposed Infernal Legion. It really doesn't need Feeding Frenzy. I should probably put Cull in there. My Flammability is only 2 linked. It's got Focus Curse and Heighten Curse. That's it. I have a Shield Charge. I have a Flame Wall that needs nothing. I've got Arcane Tempo and Fortress in it because I like it being round, and Arcane Tempo is good for faster attacks. I could probably put Mobility in there instead of Fortress, and that would be fine. I just like the Firewall being round, so I kept it like that. And the Skeletal Warriors are just Meat Shield Elemental Army so that they can actually live, and Sacrificial Lamb so that my offering always tries to target them. Boop, and then I get my offering. So that is kind of the whole build. For anyone starting this, I have to strongly suggest, if you're trying to reroll into minions or if you're starting the campaign late or anything like that, do not level as minions. Do not level as minions until you get to Act 3 and are able to get this Spectre. All other minions were unplayable. I strongly suggest just doing ED Contagion and respecking into this when you want. That being said, I do have a little max roll planner. This was the only planner that would import from my account, so this is just what we're going to use because nobody else could import, and I'm not doing all the work to do it manually. I want to stress that while I'm going to link this, this is just literally where I am at currently. This is not a build guide. This is not a plan. All the gem links aren't like perfect. I don't have the extra sockets on things. I ran out of support gems, like even uncut support gems, to like make new ones. I have a graveyard full of Spectre gems and supports for those other Spectres for all the testing we did during. So everything here is not perfect, but now that we have a good Spectre that's actively usable, now I'm going to go into this one starting tomorrow or today. By the time you see this video, we'll be blasted in maps and trying to actually figure this one out and get better. So if you want the most up-to-date information, probably drop by stream. Otherwise, when I get this one sorted out in another day or 2, I'll put a full video out. So that is all I have. I hope everybody's having fun. I really hope everybody's having fun. There's been way too much negativity. All right, that is all I have. I will see everybody next time. Bye-bye.